No matter who you're rooting for, it was a stunning day in the Donald Trump civil fraud trial, with closing arguments included Trump himself going off. Remember, he's not under no obligation to be there, but he does anyway. Clearly believes it's good for him politically. Trump was originally barred from giving a formal closing argument, but his lawyer asked if Trump could speak briefly on his own behalf. And when the judge asked Trump if he could stick to the facts, the former president launched into a 5-minute diatribe. Before I go into exactly what he said, remember, this judge has already ruled there was fraud. He has ruled against Donald Trump. So the real legal question is how much he's going to have to pay. But for Donald Trump, this is an opportunity. He's repeatedly made it clear he believes the judge is biased against him. Trump told the court today, quote, "This case goes outside the facts. The financial statements were perfect. The banks got all their money back. They were as happy as can be." He went on, "It's a political witch hunt that should be set aside. We should receive damages for what we've gone through." Continued, "I'm an innocent man. I've been persecuted by someone running for office. This statute is vicious." Now, he's referring to Attorney General Letitia James, who brought this lawsuit. Remember, at the conclusion of the case, she asked for more in damages than she started with, going from $250 to $370 million. About which Trump said, quote, "What's happened here, sir, is a fraud on me. They want to make sure that I don't win again, and this is partially election interference." Except that Trump was basically on every television today, on every network, in every headline. And so far, it's only helped him politically. He knows that. And after several minutes, the judge warned, 1 minute, that's all I'm saying. Trump responding, "You have your own agenda, I understand that," leading the judge to tell Trump's attorney, "Please control your client." In a moment, we'll speak to someone who witnessed all of it, but outside the courtroom, Trump continued to take jabs at Attorney General James.
She's a political hack, the Attorney General. She campaigned on a "I will get Trump." If you've ever seen any of her clips, they're horrible clips, actually. The anger, she's got serious Trump derangement syndrome. There's no question about Letitia James, the corrupt Attorney General of New York.
Well, that corrupt Attorney General then responded outside the courthouse.
This has never been about politics or personal vendetta or about name-calling. This case is about the facts and the law. And Mr. Donald Trump violated the law. I want everyone to know that the personal attacks really don't bother me.
Joining me now is Dan Alexander, senior editor at Forbes. He was there at the courthouse for all of it. Good to see you again. Appreciate it. So tensions pretty high in that courtroom. People surprised when Donald Trump spoke?
Definitely tensions high for most of the people in the courtroom. The fascinating thing is you've got to think that Trump's lawyers are worried. Obviously, the Attorney General's team is worried. Everyone's sort of on pins and needles watching what Donald Trump is going to say. The only person who seemed calm in that courtroom at the time, Donald Trump. This is somebody who is comfortable in chaos. He knew what he was doing. He delivered all of his talking points. He didn't have to agree to the judge's terms. He just started speaking and said exactly what he wanted to say.
What is the Attorney General's response to Trump basically saying there was no victim here, and she's actually now asking for $120 million more than she was originally asking for? What's the explanation for all that?
The really fascinating argument that the Attorney General's office made today is essentially that if Donald Trump had not lied about his net worth and therefore gotten lower interest rates on his loans, that he would have run out of cash. His business would have been out of money, and the only alternative would be that he could have cut his spending. What's one of the big things that he was spending money on in those years? Running for president. So it's a tricky situation that the Trump organization was in, and they're arguing that they lied to get out of it.
And he clearly believes this is helping him politically, right? I mean, that's the only reason he's going.
There's no question. I mean, if you were actually fighting a legal fight, you wouldn't be in the courtroom insulting the judge, insulting the AG, just blowing through all of the restrictions that they've tried to put on you. He's giving a campaign speech inside the courtroom.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.